This channel is made possible by viewers like you. My viewers, subscribers, and patrons greatly help to keep this channel going. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of you. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any uploads. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you'll get access to what I'm working on, previews of upcoming content, and even early videos, along with other tier options for those that are interested. Thank you, and now on to the video. Many times when I sit down to play a game, it's for a variety of reasons. Maybe we need something that is more linear with a compelling narrative and solid gameplay loop. Or maybe we need something more open, allowing for that exploration and discovery. Or maybe we just need something to enjoy for 5 minutes, or better yet, a title that is good for quick bursts and long play sessions, especially when it hooks you. This is one of the many reasons I'll always be interested in more arcade titles and to try them out. Arcades are pretty much a thing of the past, and outside of some that are still alive, it is something that I have fond memories of from my childhood. It was special and exciting. I wondered what the arcade would have. Will it have one of my favorites, like say the X-Men or Die Hard Arcade? Or maybe I'll find something rare that I don't see that often, like the Punisher game. Air Twister is a good example of bringing us back to the arcade time, and it provides so much fun. Air Twister is a title all focused on its action. It's very easy to get into and understand what you need to do. You may not really fully comprehend the obscure imagery you are seeing, but it is something that continues to intrigue you as you shoot through it. Air Twister is the definition of what you want to have with a pick-up-and-play experience. You sit down, things are presented logically, and you're just trying to survive and get that higher score. Maybe you're trying to do a no-hit run, making it even more challenging, but if you can succeed on each level, then that will net you with more bonuses. Or maybe you are just interested in blasting your way through the campaign. When I first started this, there was a bit of what is going on feeling when it came from its story, and world building wise. But once you're in control, it all becomes familiar to you, and most of all, the game is very fun. When starting a new game, intros many times are where games go to die. If you cannot give me a compelling reason to keep playing, then I'm going to shut it off and try something else. There are way too many alternatives. Air Twister smartly ushers the player to suck them in with the gameplay loop. The beginning opens with a cutscene, helping to set the stage. It is visually interesting, just like the rest of this game, and while there is no dialogue, the direction, art style, and music do work together to keep you interested. Then you have a tutorial that is very short and to the point, and now you're in level 1. Air Twister sorta just throws the player into the action, just like if you threw a quarter or token into the machine to start a game. It was after dying that I found out that there were so many more modes and a lot of unlocks as well. My first time playing Air Twister was just great. So what will you be doing while in Air Twister? For the most part, you're going to be shooting everything on screen, dodging enemy fire and obstacles, surviving and getting your score higher. You are on rails, so think a roller coaster but with guns. You can fire off your main weapon as much as you want, or you can opt to highlight enemies and then shoot them all with your lock-on attack. You unlock other weapons that act and operate a bit differently, like having a charge shot that can do a lot of damage and take out many enemies on screen. Then you have your slow-mo ability. Depending on how much you unlock, this will give you an edge on your opponent by easily dodging attacks or getting several shots in on them. I found this to be pretty useful for the boss fights. Levels have the same setup to them. You enter a location, shoot a bunch of enemies, maybe dodge some obstacles, fight a boss at the end, find the weak points, and then move on to the next stage. The variety in the levels and the boss fights very much keeps each level interesting and engaging. Bosses are usually big and work like good traditional fights. Find the glowing weak points and dodge their attacks. Air Twister has a really good and addictive progression system. As you play the game, you'll earn stars for pretty much everything you do. Then you can take this to the upgrade path and grab many unlocks. You will earn everything from more starting health, more weapons, and a lot of cosmetic items. There's a lot of room here for customization, especially when it comes down to how you want to look. There's challenges and daily tasks to complete that give you more rewards and stars as well. Then you have all the additional challenge modes. The Stardust mode sort of acts like a time attack of sorts. Keep destroying enemies to increase the time you have to survive to the next round. There's extra stages like a really fun endurance level, great for collecting more stars and very hard. Then you have the arcade mode with different difficulty options. Tap Breaker, where you need to hit the numbers in the right order. Another mode is like a side-scroller where you need to collect stars and dodge enemies. Then there's Turbo mode and a boss rush mode. The game is packed with additional stuff to do, and many of these items are unlocked based on the choices that you make with your stars within the upgrade path. Air Twister feels like a solid arcade title, with the progression of something that I would have expected with a PS2 game. I really want to praise this stuff because I miss proper unlocks for games. So much of the stuff is sectioned off for DLCs, where you need to pay for them. Back in the day, unlocking them was so satisfying, giving us plenty. Now, as far as flaws are concerned, I only have a few. There's a few difficulty spikes with some of the boss fights. For example, you might be hit with a hard one, and then the next one will be more reasonable or even easy. I do wish that the game had a form of co-op, but this isn't really a flaw, but rather a personal request. Overall, Air Twister is a quality arcade title. Air Twister is an underrated and overlooked game. I don't see many people talking about it or even discussing this title. After doing some digging, I found out that this was on Apple Arcade and it was an exclusive there, and only recently was released on other platforms. This isn't the first game I have seen that has done this. I can understand a company wanting to sign a deal for something like this, plus it probably helps them to cover some of the developmental costs up front. But for a gamer like myself, if I'm not on that platform, there's a good chance I'm going to miss out on it. I am happy that I came across this title. It is a really fun arcade title, and one that I highly recommend that others check out. It's easily a game that deserves more attention, and honestly a title where pretty much anyone can pick it up and probably enjoy. If you are craving a simple and fun experience that brings you back to the arcades, along with a good progression and unlock system, then check this one out. Have you heard of or played Air Twister? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you're interested in being notified of new videos, please hit the subscribe button and bell. And if you would like to support the channel and get early access to content, please check out my Patreon. All of the links will be at the end of this video and within the description. And thank you very much for watching.